In this video, I want to touch on a topic called starter birds. And the reason why I'm looking at cockatiels is because they're unfortunately one of the three that get labeled as starter birds. The other two being parakeets and unfortunately budgies. Now the third one we're wondering, she's just on me right now. I'm not sure you can see her or not. But the reason why I want to touch on this topic was because as I was posting pictures on a public hosting site, I was getting a lot of people that were actually PMing me. Look, I got some cockatiels. I want to get rid of them. They're about 6 months untamed, of course. And then you had some saying, well, I had them for over a year untamed. And it kind of want to make me touch on this topic because there is no such thing as a starter bird. These guys are long-term commitment. They live 20 plus years if well taken care of. And they're very intelligent, sociable, and everything else. And you can see here, Wally, which stays on me pretty much constantly when I'm home throughout the day and stuff like that. And loves to get head scratches and everything else. Now, a lot of people unfortunately buy these birds because they think they're going to be easier to take care of than getting their bigger birds. So they go ahead and get these birds for like a year or two, and then they move up to like a macaw or a cockatoo and unfortunately rehome these guys. Or worse, they get put to a corner of a room and then don't get the attention they require. Don't ever buy a bird that you can't give attention to, and don't buy a bird to get a bigger bird. You don't need to do that. Matter of fact, taking care of and taming a bigger bird versus a smaller bird is about the same process actually, so there's really no need to do that anyway. But people will go and buy these birds because they think they're easier, and then they don't have to fear the harder bite that the bigger birds will get them and stuff, and that's just plain wrong. These guys are very social. These guys are very intelligent. Honestly, especially with cockatiels, I think they make a perfect pet for a lot of people, especially people that live in apartments or people that can't get a larger bird because they're too loud and stuff. These guys really make ideal pet because they're just as social. They love to play as much, and they can become literally your best companion if well taken care of and stuff like that. So don't ever consider it a starter bird. There is no such thing as a starter bird. If you buy a bird, it's a long-term commitment. Plan on keeping it for 20 plus years and stuff, and don't rehome them, you know what I mean? And do your research. There's certain cage requirements like bar spacing, size of cage, cage placement, type of food that you give them. You don't want to just feed them seed mixes and stuff like that, because then they're going to get this fatty liver and all kinds of other diseases and stuff like that in time. You want to make sure you feed them properly, a more balanced nutrition diet. And you also want to make sure that they're getting the attention they need. These guys require an hour plus attention a day. Now I will go into a dedicated video on cage requirement, cage placements, and all that for new time bird owners. But there is no such thing as a starter bird. So get that out of your head. When you buy a bird, buy the bird that you want, that you think you're going to be able to handle for the appropriate size space you have, and for the appropriate size cage and everything else that you plan on buying and stuff, and base your opinion on that. Don't buy it because you got some PetSmart or Petco or any other pet store telling you, oh yeah, these are easy birds, they're great starter bird. There is no such thing as a starter bird. A bird's a long-term commitment. They're highly intelligent. So when you take on that bird, you're taking a 20-year plus responsibility. And here comes Wally. My bigger birds right now are deciding to rip up toys, but this pretty much concludes the video. There is no such thing as starter birds, and don't get into that habit of thinking there is.